Hi there, it's Tiffany from Daisy Farm Crafts, and today I'm going to show you a tutorial for Hannah's blanket called the Modern Dash Baby Blanket. And I am using a size H Susan Bates hook, 5.0 millimeter, with Bernat Baby Blanket Tiny. And the colors we're using are white and this really pretty, let's see what color it is, tea rose it's called. This is blanket yarn, so it's super, super soft and almost puffy. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a chenille, maybe, is a good way to explain it. So we are going to be carrying the yarn through on the rows that we're using the color. So there will be a little bit of ends to weave in. The finished size for her blanket on our website was 32 by 35. So it's like a baby blanket stroller size. And the pattern repeat is 8 plus 7. So you can make it whatever size you would like to do. Okay, so I'm going to start with white. And I'm going to chain a multiple of 8 plus 7. So I will be doing, I think it's 23. Is that right? 16. Yep, 23. Sorry, do you see me use my fingers? I tell my followers all the time on Instagram, I am so not a math brain. But ask me some obscure, movie reference, clear back, and I'll know it. Crazy. Okay, so I have started chaining and I haven't even started counting. So get your 23 chains on the hook and meet me back and we'll get going. Okay, I tell you, this row is actually the trickiest because it is so hard with this yarn to see the tops of stitches. So do the very best you can. We're going to start in the third chain from the hook. So I never count that loop that's on the hook. You start with the next one. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to start with a row of half double crochet. So I'm just yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, and working through all 3 loops on my hook. Okay, so I'll do that again for you. Yarning over, going into the next stitch, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, and pulling through 3. I'll do it one more time slow for beginners because I would say this is an advanced beginner project just because you are carrying the yarn through, and sometimes if you're not comfortable with holding the hook and all of that kind of stuff, that could be a little tricky, but we're only using a half double crochet stitch throughout this whole blanket, and I'm going to be working in between the posts, and sometimes I feel like that's pretty beginner friendly because you don't have to search for the tops of stitches, and the ending stitch is in between the chain, the turning chain, and the last stitch, so it's fairly easy to find. But this is the only tricky part, is finding the tops of those chains in this beginner row. So you're definitely going to want to go back and count. I should have made 21 half double crochets. We started off with chain 3 or 23. I started in the third chain from the hook, and so that should leave me with 21 half double crochets. Okay, I think I will pause, let you finish getting the rest of your half double crochets on there, and then I'll show you how to add in the color. Okay, did you get your 21 half double crochets? I want to tell you, on the very last one, hold off on pulling through. Hold off, because we're going to add color in. This is our first row of the little dashes. So we're going to just simply lay our pink color across the hook and pull through, just like that. And then we are going to chain 2 and turn. We're going to carry this white yarn along with us. So I'm turning like a page in the book. And now the stitch that we'll do is still half double crochets, but here's where it gets pretty easy. I am going to have you start, we will work on either side of the post of the stitch. I call that working in between the posts. So I'm going to also, though, find my, not the tail, that stays out, but you need to get the white yarn that you'll pull up, your strand of yarn. You need to have that tucked behind your work because we're going to work over it. So I'm going to yarn over, and in this very first space, here's the last stitch that we worked. Here's the space. We're going to work right into that hole. That's where our first stitch goes. And you see this is my white, kind of tuck it back behind there. Go ahead and pull that up and pull it through. That is your first stitch. Now, hopefully, because this yarn is kind of sticky, it'll stay back behind there. Go ahead. We're going to do 5. So here's your big hole in between the posts. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over again, making sure you've still got that white behind there. And I promise you, it's only tricky to get this first row going. Once you get the blanket established, it's a little bit easier to hang on to, and the yarn will be easier for you. So we've got 4. We're going to work one more, a 5th, but we're not going to pull through all the way. What we'll do is we're going to drop the peach to the back, or the T rows. Now pull up that white that you were carrying along and pull through. Now this time along the back of the work, okay, I gave that just a little bit of a tug. On the back of the work, you're just kind of place that tail, or I don't want to call it a tail, I don't know, the yarn not in use. How about that? Because now we're going to crochet over that, and we're going to work 3. The next 3 stitches are with the white. So it'll go 5, 3, 5, 3. So just as you're finishing the 3rd stitch, stop. And this time, instead of dropping the white to the back, you're going to go ahead and bring it forward. It's very important. It'll help you to keep the yarn from twisting. So you keep one to the back and one to the front, and you're always going to want to keep the white to the front. It's an easy way to think of it. Okay, so I'm working into the next 5 holes. I don't know what you want to say. To the left of the next post. Down there underneath. I'm not working into the tops of any stitches. I'm working down beneath. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's time for a yarn change. Pulling up, dropping the T rows to the back, pulling the white through. And now I'll kind of reach around, give that a little bit of a tug, kind of lay it across the back of the stitches and go like this. Now, if you've been a follower of me for a while and you have watched and learned how to do the gingham, we are doing this one a little bit different. On the gingham, I like to have the yarn go right across the top, but Hannah designed this, and I'll show you on the other side. She wanted just a little bit more of the yarn. Since the yarn was going to show through anyway, she designed it so that you just place it across the back so that you can get some extra dashes on one side. So absolutely personal preference. If you do not like that way and you want to go ahead and put the yarn across the top of the stitch, go right ahead. It's just what Hannah liked for her blanket. Okay, the last stitch, see I've still got that going through, is between the last post, and this is our turning chain. That is where our last stitch goes, right down in there. Go ahead and stop. It's time to pull up the white, pull through on the last step of the stitch, and at this point, I will go ahead and I'm going to cut my T rows right off. Okay, and so yes, there will be some weaving in of the ends for the T rows, but not the white. We'll carry the white throughout the whole thing. Okay, do you see what I'm saying about how when we placed it on the back, you're going to get just a little bit more of the dashed look on one side. So personal preference, you can totally change that up if you'd rather just have the yarn go across the top. Okay, I'm looking for that first hole right there, going underneath all of the, oh gosh, I don't know what you would call it. All of these three parts of the half double crochet, looking for the larger hole in between the posts. I don't know, I hope that is clear to you. And we are going to do 3 rows of the white. So this, you get a break for the next 3 rows. Just work, 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 all half double crochet, headed to the left of each and every post across, and that last one landing in between the turning chain and your last post. Okay, for 3 rows. So I think I'll let you get to it, and I'll meet you back, and we'll do 1 more row of color change, and then you are good to go. That is all there is to getting this blanket pattern started. All right, how did you do? I'm right here at the end of my 3rd row, so I am adding in the new color just before I finish the last step of the stitch, and I'm going to chain 2 and turn, and I'm going to bring that white along with me because I need to crochet over it. So I just tuck it back behind the work, just like that. And actually, when you get a larger blanket, this will be easier. You won't have all these ends tangling with each other because they'll be further apart. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work those first 5 stitches of the terracotta. Not terracotta, I keep saying that. It kind of has a terracotta look, but they call this T rows. And on that very last step, I am going to drop the color to the back, pull up the white, and we're just going to work the next 3. 1, 2, and don't pull through all the way with 3. Stop right there, and you're going to put that forward and then pull up in the back like that. Now you have this, keep crocheting over it. You just need it for this 1 row. So if you are new to finding this video and you like this technique, then I'm going to encourage you to go look at my gingham blankets. You are carrying yarn in every row, but oh, the effect of putting different shades of color together can make your blanket look like gingham, and it's a beautiful look, and you'll be amazed that it's crocheted because it just looks so seamless and very nice. So go ahead and look on I have several videos now on YouTube, and my website is daisyfarmcrafts.com, where all of our patterns are free, and then we sell a PDF ad-free version on Etsy. You're welcome to find us there. I always encourage everybody to come find us on Instagram and share what you are making with us. Use the hashtag daisyfarmcrafts. Share what Daisy Farm project you have finished, and I love to share those every Sunday up in my stories. It's very inspirational for people to see, you know, and say, hey, I'm working on the same thing, and to see it finished. It's kind of fun. Okay, that's it. Have you been watching as I'm blabbering on? Okay, pull through, chain 2. All right, I'm going to come back on and I'll show you how to weave the ends in, just in case you're a beginner and you've never seen that before. But this is what the back looks like. Yes, you are going to see a little bit of those. Hannah designed it that way, and I think it looks cute, but you also are free to get it up under there. We figured if it's going to show, you might as well have it show down there. So, but this is what the other side looks like. So definitely 2 sides to your blanket. It's gorgeous. Okay, good luck. And we'll just hold on and I'll show you how to weave in the ends. So I'm back here with my original sample, and I'm going to go ahead, and what I use to weave in my end is called a tapestry needle. And it has a very large eye and a really blunt tip. And I have them in all sorts of sizes. I don't know what the names of the sizes are, but I just look for the big ones because I want to make it easy on myself to thread the yarn. So basically, all you do to weave in ends, there is no right or wrong way to do this other than weave in and out the best you can and disguise the yarn. Now, I think we're lucky with our little blanket tiny here, is that it's going to do a good job sticking to itself. And so these ends are going to probably stay pretty secure with just a couple passes back and forth through however many stitches you can do. Obviously, we're limited to these 5. So, you know, you want to just kind of pull on it, make it and that's all I'm doing is going back and forth, in and out, just like that. And I think I'll call it good after that one, because honestly, it's not going to come undone. This yarn is sticking to itself. So slippery yarn, you're going to want to do a lot of times, but this 3 or 4 times is probably great. I clipped it really close to the fabric and I'm done. So that's it. Then you'll do that with the white. White, obviously you'll have a little bit more room to play with, but that's it. That will be your biggest challenge. So put on a movie when you're done with your blanket and just be patient weaving in all of these ends. It'll be beautiful. Okay, so if you need to know how to do the ribbing border, I'm going to link the video at the end of this, or look in our comments and it'll be linked. And if that's the border that you want to do, look for that video. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.